Last night, I had trouble sleeping, so I had to get up and take half a Zopicone, and then I still couldn't sleep, so I had to take the other half. Not that I had to, I could have been more creative and tried to take some more supplements to see if those would make me fall asleep. But the thing is, after I took the half the Zopicone, I was kind of like so groggy that I didn't want to try to think about anything. So much for getting off that pill at the moment. And I was fine all day, and then I was interacting with someone, and I ended up buying a ticket to a concert that I don't even know the person, so I can go with this person to the concert. And I felt afterwards kind of irritated by that. Like, my brain was like, why didn't you just say, no, I don't know this person, I don't want to go? I felt like this need to go to help that person get there, maybe because they needed a ride in order to get there. But so I could have driven them and not spent the $50 to go. But today I feel more fine about it, but I felt like really agitated. And then I realized that like that person, after they were excited, they like pushed on my legs, like, yes. And then my legs felt so restless. And I was feeling like, why did I agree to go? And I never have this feeling like, why did I do that? Or usually I am very honest, like, yeah, I don't want to, or yes, no, I don't want to, or whatever. And I wasn't, so it feels kind of like I was manipulated into going, but I wasn't. Like, this was my brain playing tricks on me. And then I was thinking about how it related to a past event where I was sort of like asked to go somewhere, kind of manipulated, and then things didn't go well because of that, because of going to that event. And I was just having kind of that feeling about this, even though there's no reason to, but it just felt like I was on this path of, oh, I'm just going to sit in the forest every day and relax, and then I'm going to a concert. It's like I forgot why I'm here, which is to rest. And see, I'm so forgetful in general that I don't know how to put up proper boundaries. I should have said no, because I don't want to go to concerts right now. I want to rest and be in the forest, and that's about it. I don't want to be asked to go to another concert or to another event of some kind of stimulation. And then after that, I literally could not sleep. Like, my brain was just like, blah, blah, really annoyed with myself for doing that. Like, spending the $50, which, you know, I need to be somewhat smart with my money and not say yes to every $50 concert, but that never happens. So I wanted to have an experience where I'm actually going out and doing something with someone, because there isn't much happening here. But I just felt like I'm easily persuaded to do things. And I didn't like that, because it wasn't something I'm interested in. I'll probably perhaps go and really enjoy it, but I'm just talking about the feeling that I had last night, and then I couldn't sleep. So because I went against myself and what I'm doing here, like the reason I'm here, I had trouble sleeping, and then had to take a whole Zopicone. And then I realized how interacting with like an energetic being gives me energy, and right now I kind of need to interact with next to nobody. I was talking to myself about, I'm not in my old epigenetic matrix where I could have drama created with other people that I know, but now there's new people, so this energy could create drama in general, any kind of drama. So going out and about is in new ways isn't really the thing to do right now. And I have been going out every day, neither getting food or going to the little grocery store or going to the forest. So I have been out every day, but just by myself and doing things like that. So I think it's a good lesson to learn, to realize, okay, during this period, literally don't do anything. Like, my body felt anxious, my whole body, it just felt, ooh, and I was thinking, oh no, is this coming back? But it's good to know it's still kind of there. But this environment, as it is, it's good. It doesn't really come out because of the environment and being in nature and earthing and that. So this was very like human construct-ish, and I'm trying to stay away from human constructs. Though it'll be nice. I'm sure I will enjoy my time, but I don't need it. It's not necessary. So I have to not be manipulated. And I kind of felt like, oh, this person hasn't really talked to me for a week. And then as soon as something comes up where they need to get somewhere and I have a car and they don't, then they're being all buddy-buddy. So I did feel kind of manipulated and kind of dumb about it. And usually that doesn't happen because I'm used to being around my friends where I don't feel manipulated in any kind of way. And I don't like that feeling. If I don't even know if that's what it was so foreign and so uncomfortable. But then I was realizing that it's just bringing up sort of past energies relaying on the present, and it really has nothing to do with it. So the point really is that in this state, those untrusting, kind of weirded out energies are still there. They're lying dormant because I'm not really interacting with anyone. But then to interact with someone is really stimulating, and those sort of drama things in the brain do come out and express themselves. And then I couldn't sleep. Then I had to take more meds, and I feel like it's a bit of a setback. So I will go tonight. Like, I'm feeling fine about it today because I got some sleep. I took this Zopicone and I slept. It was 12:08 last time I checked, and I was laying there for a while, and I woke up at 11:38. So I probably got a good 10 and a half to 11 hours. So I feel fine. I don't really feel the side effects of the medications or anything. Tonight I might try to be a bit more creative and take a few more vitamins or something and take less of the meds. But the thing is, it could be good to allow the brain to die back at this point, because that's sort of the brain dying back part and becoming less functional. But what I did with interacting with another person just made those brain circuits be activated, like the circuits of interacting with others and, forming new relationships, which, it could be good to have a good relationship with a person, especially if shit hits the fan here and I need a bit of support. So, it still feels kind of like an exchange of some kind, not really natural. And then I was thinking how, like, if it was a different person where I was, like, feeling lusty towards the person, like having an instant crush, I would go and spend the $50 and I wouldn't care. So again, it's kind of like, is this person somebody who resonates with me, or blah, 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 because it's a new person. It's not an old friend, or I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to watch these things come into being within, and last night was definitely something, and I think part of it was spurred by them, like, putting energy into my thighs, because that's a place where I feel anxiety sometimes. And then it also made me think to look up a somatic experiencing practitioner, because they help with body trauma, I think. And if I don't get this energy out of my body, I don't know. I'm feeling like I'll just have to keep continuing to drug myself more and more, and use vitamins more and more, and it's just not good. I would rather be off all the vitamins too. at some point. Like, what is a natural life? And interestingly enough, I noticed that like my cellulite on my legs is gone mostly. And I think it could be because of the earthing, because I haven't really been doing enough walking to make it all go. Because when I was back home, I was doing more walking than I am now. But I'm doing a bit more earthing, and I think being in the forest helps. It could also be that during this time, when troubles are coming into awareness, a lot of those troubles are stored in the body, like in the fat. So imagine I'm taking medications to help me survive and function in the world. Well, things are wanting to be processed, but instead these medications are getting stored in fat cells, which kind of represents the delaying of having to deal with it. So as that fat is being burnt off in this more higher energy state at this point in time, then some of those things come into awareness. So I don't know if it's the earthing or if it's the stage in this thing happening, because I haven't really been eating super healthy. I've been eating Laura bars and pretty healthy, I guess. I had some sushi for dinner, but lately, last 2 nights, I made the broccoli and Indian sauce and lentils. So I'm really going to try to, after tonight, kind of go back to keeping to myself. Again, I'm not really ready to interact with people. It's not really my best state, even though I feel fine because I'm not interacting with people. So this is where things can get a little bit deceptive. Having a perfect sort of environment, one can think, like for healing and for getting through a crisis, to the point where one feels like there is no crisis happening. It's there in the background. It can be stirred up. So that was the lesson for me. So I might think, well, I'm post-crisis, and it still could be on its way in 2 weeks or less. I can just do whatever I want. I can go to concerts. I can hang out with people. I can be social. But I don't think that is the case. So I will go out tonight and yeah. And yesterday I didn't take any of the anti-suicide type stuff, and I didn't today either. I'm wondering if it's stimulating and keeping me awake, even though it was only last night that I had that trouble and I didn't really take anything that would be extra stimulating. So I did stop taking the zinc I take at dinner, because I'm taking 3 a day. So I put that back in, and I'm only taking 1 of certain things, like I was wondering if maybe the neuroplasticity things are too stimulating, so I'm only going to take 1 of those today, 1 of each, alpha G, CP, brain gastrodin, and whatever else, CDP choline. So mixing that up a little bit, and then yeah, I still do have this body anxiety a bit. So I'm going to eat something and then probably go out, unless it's raining, do some earthing, and yeah, there's probably more to talk about, but I just wanted to talk about that with myself and remind myself to take it easy. Take it easy. So last night, or yesterday, that weirdness I was experiencing had nothing to do with the whole concert ticket thing that I was talking about. There was no manipulation going on. There was nothing like that. But those patterns came into my mind, and then it seemed like it got entangled with and triggered past stuff. It was simply going to a concert, but even yesterday, I think, or at whatever point I talked to myself about it, I had a weird experience yesterday where I was starting to resist going a little bit again during the day. And then I was sort of asking myself, like, what is this anger? What is this about? And then there was this stuff coming up inside about not being accepted when I came out. And I was like, is this what the anger stems from? So it really had nothing to do at all with the whole concert ticket thing. But I sort of put past projection onto the present, and then that triggered even more past stuff related to that. So I saw that really clearly, and it still played out, but I was able to just sort of cry to myself for a second and sort of watch the whole pattern play out in private. Gotta take my jacket off. So realizing that it doesn't have to come out and get put onto other things, and even if it does come out and get put onto other things, like this ticket buying scenario to the concert, which was really fun, by the way, and I had no resistance to going. Once I saw that bit of drama play out, that sort of came up, and I watched it play out by myself, alone. There was only one other person around, but they weren't around, so nothing, I was able to keep all of that to myself and not put it on the other person, because it had nothing to do with them at all. And I was trying to make it have something to do with them with the whole ticket scenario, but it didn't. And so in having that mini drama play out, like I was in my room and then I was eating or something, and then a bit of the drama came out after talking, but then since I realized I could just watch it on my own, and then it went away, I was like, wow, just like get to a private place, let the little bit of drama unfold, see the past, you know, shed a few tears, and then go on with the day and be fine. You know, if I were in a psych ward, it'd probably get turned into a much bigger thing. But since I'm in paradise, you know, paradise can uphold and withhold and withstand and sort of neutralize so much of it. It's like, yeah, a little bit of drama wants to come out, but it doesn't want to derail the whole thing because there's too much beauty to be immersed in. So yeah, it was a really powerful lesson. Like, it seems like I can handle these bits of drama on my own, whether they're in daily life or involved in trying to sleep or anything like that. So this feels empowering because it feels like now I'm getting to a point where I can handle whether it's 10 minutes of drama on my own or not being able to sleep, these little bits, which are becoming smaller and smaller, seemingly I'm able to handle them more and more. Maybe because they're smaller and smaller, or maybe they're smaller and smaller because I can handle it better, or because I can see what's going on better. So I'm not letting it derail everything, and also not trying to do too much. And yeah, and then I didn't get back from the concert, which was really good. I didn't know the music, but it was still really good and enjoyable, even though I had an hour, 1.7 hours, so probably 1.5 hours, 90 minutes of tension out of the whole probably 3 or so hours. So like half the time I was breathing tense. Maybe because it was so loud and intense. I'm not sure, but it's not the greatest to be in that kind of situation. I had way more tense breathing than I did at that other concert a couple weeks ago. So that's good to know. So I'm spending some time in nature at the beach. I'm gonna do some earthing. I really think earthing does a lot. I could read that book again. I don't know if I have it on Kindle app or only in paper copy. So yeah, and then last night I took some of my supplements. I took 6 lithium orotate because I didn't take one during the day, so I really only took one extra, close to 30 milligrams, which I'm only supposed to go up to 20, but it does help with sleep, and Peter Smith did say I could go a bit higher. So I took those first and let them sink in, and taurine, and then I took the zinc a bit after, because zinc and lithium, they're both minerals, so they might compete with each other. So I wanted to take the lithium before and let it sink in, and then after that take the zinc and sunflower lecithin and all that. And then I didn't take the Zopicone, even though the night before I took one whole Zopicone, so maybe I should taper off, right? Since it was later at night, I didn't take any Zopicone. I thought maybe I'll sleep, and so now I'm not on that. And I took 75 milligrams of trazodone and the 2 quetiapine. I was going to take 3, one in place of the Zopicone, but I didn't, and the Benadryl. So that's good, that hopefully I can not use the Zopicone. And maybe I need to go to sleep later. Maybe I need to go to sleep a bit later, fall asleep naturally instead of going a bit earlier to sleep and drugging myself to sleep for 12 hours. Because today I had probably 8 hours of sleep and I woke up feeling totally rested. I didn't have 11 or 10 hours. But I think it's good to sort of keep my brain sleeping as much as I can. So we'll see if having 8 hours of sleep last night will help me get to sleep a little earlier and more naturally tonight. I'll try to take a little bit less trazodone. And yeah, just spend as much time in nature as I can. So it's important to remember, people don't know what's going on inside. So if there's a drama of the past, like a past reaction coming up, just let it unfold, let it flower, let it wither, let it die in the light of awareness. And don't make others aware of it, because it's temporary. That wants to get propagated. But if it doesn't, then it loses its grip. Or if one sees it for what it is, it's hard for that to take one over again, possibly. And also I read yesterday that somebody else killed themselves, a celebrity of some cooking chef type show. I can't remember his name. I didn't know of him. But yeah, again, kind of without warning. Somebody else who is a celebrity kills themselves. And I was sort of surprised by the article because it was quite long and it was mostly focused on all of that person. It was a man, all of his achievements. It's like, oh, it's sad he died by suicide, but he did this and this and this and this and this and this. Whereas the few days before, when it was Kate Spade, it was like, Kate Spade died. And, said a little bit. But this was like a nice article that you might read if somebody died of a heart attack for the guy. And for the woman, it's like, there was nothing like that. So, obviously 2 different writers and things, but the other one for the guy was like, oh, no big deal, he died by suicide. He did all this. This was his journey. It was very long and kind of nice. I don't know what the heck was up with that. But yeah, it didn't have the same feel. It wasn't maybe as like sad and frantic and like short as Kate Spade, the reporting on her. I don't know what the difference was there. had something come to mind yesterday where I do feel that there is something that goes on, possibly, from what I've experienced, or that we go into a different dimension of possibility. It could be kind of like the movie The Discovery. It could be kind of like that. Like if we do it, we don't actually get out of the trap. We might go to like a parallel reality where things are actually a bit worse for us and we're still ourselves. And we sort of wake up having a bad dream about that other life that was just like, oh, that was weird. I dreamt that I was a celebrity chef doing a show. And then you wake up in some crappy apartment with a shittier life. So I don't know if that is really the way out. I'm not sure. Or it could be that one goes on into a different life. This is the thing. There is other dimensions for sure, and there are other realities, and there's also the possibility of eternity, and getting to the point of eternity where there's no beginning and there's no end. So if there's no beginning and there's no end, there's no death. There's some kind of transformation that appears like death when we sort of molt that previous life. So what I'm saying is death might not be the answer. We might think it's the way out, but it might not be. So what if it wasn't? What if we knew if we ended our life that we'd end up in worse circumstances as a human being? I don't know if that's true, but it sort of came to mind yesterday. I was like, whoa, imagine that. And imagine if that were true, and say I do get to the point when I'm 50 or 55 or 60, and I'm like, wow, I just can't do this anymore, this whole up and down or whatever it is, unless it's evened out by then. But if I can't, then even that might not be the answer. So yeah, in a way it relates to what I'm talking about, how I realized that past conditioning was coming into this interaction over a concert ticket. I'm like, what is this? This isn't about this person now. Like, I just met this person, they're new. Like, what is this? And then it sort of came up into awareness, and I had to deal with that for a short time. Or watch it, not even deal with it. Just watch it play out. Which is sort of what we have to do all the time. Just sometimes when it's like a chunk of something, we have to watch the pattern play out. Like, imagine somebody who has compulsive eating. They have the impulse to eat, and then they're literally watching themselves do all this eating, like over 5, 10, 15 minutes or whatever, I don't know. And now the same thing with this impulse of the past conditioning that comes out. You kind of have to watch it play out for 5 minutes, and you feel like you have no control. And you don't, but you can watch it. And when you watch it, even though it might last for 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, when you watch it, even though it's unfolding and you can't stop it, you begin to understand a lot of it. And understanding it is more important than trying to stop it through some other kind of volitional act. And so right now I don't feel like I'm watching myself say this over 5 minutes, like it's just unfolding and happening and I can't stop it. I feel like it's a moment-to-moment thing. I don't even know what I'm going to say next. It's not pre-thought out in my mind. So it's just moment, moment, moment. But when it's a chunk that feels like, oh wow, this is going to go on for a minute or 2 or 5, you got to watch it. You got to watch every moment, and you got to watch when a pattern of conditioning of the past starts to unravel itself to show us something. And I'm really seeing how useless all of that is. and how destructive. Like I could have, I wouldn't have, but I could have possibly been like, I don't want to go. Here, I don't even want the ticket. Like, find your own way. But after that little bit of trauma unfolded with myself, I was like, wow, that's just a bunch of crap. I'm going and it's going to be fun. And I don't even give a crap about the $50 anymore. Like, it was really stupid. Really dumb. So, yeah, it was a mistake. It was a mistake of what was going on. It was thinking I was recognizing what was going on, but I wasn't. I was only tricking my own brain out of being in the present moment. So yeah, being in the space where one can watch that, whether it's a pattern for a few minutes or moment to moment, it feels empowering. I don't know. Speaking of empowering, I'm gonna go do some earthing.